Hello everybody and welcome to my channel Almost Home Creates. I found this carousel mold the other day when I was shopping on Amazon and I absolutely loved it because I've always loved carousels, so I decided I was going to try it out. This is the kind of resin I got, and I got it on Amazon, and these are some of the mica powders I used. And the smaller powders, I don't honestly remember what brand they are, but I got them I think I got them from Hobby Lobby actually. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my mold inside out so I can put the colors I want on the carousel. I went with a Sunny Gold mica powder for the poles and for all of the little filigree type stuff that you see on the carousel. This next part, as I'm doing this, I'm actually going to speed up because it's a pretty long process and you can see what I'm doing as I do it. The great thing about these mica powders is they're very easy to use and brush on, and I usually like to use basically a little makeup brush to push it in, and you just want to make sure you get it in all the cracks really well and kind of tap off the excess. And then just kind of clean your board every once in a while to make sure that it's not smearing all over your mold as you go. It's pretty easy to come up though, so you don't really have to worry about it too much. And then basically after I've applied it to my mold where I want it, I go through and I wipe it off all the spaces that it's on that I did not mean to get it on, because it basically will blow around very easily as you use it. But since it's so easy to clean up, you just go through and clean out your mold where you want to put your other colors. After I finish putting this bronze color in the saddles, I'm going to go ahead and switch over and start putting the colors in my horses. And I kind of wanted to do a multi-tone where I used a darker color for the mane and the hooves and the tails. And then on the insides, I'm going to use a lighter color. So I think I'm going to do one horse in pinks, I'm going to do one horse in blues, and one horse in purples, and then another horse in greens. And again, I'm just going to kind of fast forward through these parts, and you can see what I'm doing, just filling in all the spots in the molds. And as I finish each horse, I try to wipe off the excess around it, especially if I get it in the next horse. That way I can just keep everything together and cleaned up as much as possible. Okay, and at this point I'm done. So as you can see, I've just kind of cleaned up my mold and gotten all the excess off all the spots, and I'm just now going to turn it inside out, and I'm going to now work on the top. So now we are going on to the lid, and it's basically the same process where I'm just going to brush on my colors, and there's some little indentations of dots and almost snowflakes on it, and I'm going to basically fill those with pink and blue. And I go over it pretty heavily and just make sure that it's in each of the dots and each of the little filigrees, and then at the end you can just wipe off the excess, and since it's raised, it comes off very easily from the parts that you aren't going to want to color. So after you get all your pink and blue on your mold, you're going to go over and wipe it all down. And then after you get all your gold, put the rest of the places you want. This is basically what you're left with. And you can kind of see on the outside where the blues and the pinks are. And we'll see if it comes out well. But at this point, I am now ready to pour. Whenever you get ready to pour something, it's always a good idea to take your original cup of resin that you have mixed and let sit for a few minutes and pour it into another cup and remix it for a little bit. That way, if you've missed any spots in your mixing and there's anything stuck on the sides, you won't have it basically making your finished product tacky. So if you ever do resin and you get that tacky finish, it's probably because your resin had a spot where it wasn't mixed in real well. So I always like to just take it from my original cup and put it in the next one, and then do a little bit of remixing before I put my colors in, just to make sure everything's mixed really well and ready to go. I decided to go with crystal white as the background of this because I really honestly just couldn't decide what color to go with, and I thought white would be a pretty safe color for my first time, just to see how I liked the mold and how it turned out. I also added a little bit of glitter just for a little bit of shine in my finish. And at this point I am ready to pour. So I went ahead, and when you're pouring, you just want to make sure you kind of go slow, make sure you get all the sides filled up. I like to kind of squish my sides as I go, and let it sit because it will kind of pop its own bubbles also. So just want to kind of make sure you push your sides in a little and make sure you're getting all the bubbles out. And then I hit it with my heat gun just to pop all the ones that are coming to the top. And there's a few that just weren't coming out, so I went ahead and pulled out my lighter and popped those real quick. All right, and now for the unmolding to see how it actually turned out. Okay. All right. Oh, wow. I really, really like it. I love the colors. I think they turned out really nicely. I like the white background, and while it's not real glittery, there's a slight shimmer to it. And I just think this top turned out perfectly too. You can see the pink and the blue, and it just looks so good. I really love this. I hope you guys like it too. Now I have to decide what my next colors are going to be. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more.